Hi everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Akintade. I'll be representing Technext. The theme for today's conversation is Web3. Today we are going to be unraveling the technicalities behind Web3, the features, the risk, and how businesses make money from it. We have four speakers on ground that will speak on it. The first speaker is Asha Aboyewa, the co-founder of Use Safi. Then we have Ajose Gideon, the CEO of CyberView. We have Ugo Akachukwu, music executive and tech entrepreneur. We have Shion Laniege, the principal blockchain engineer at Composable.finance. Before we start, I would like to give a big overview of the journey from Web1 to Web3. Web1 refers to the cradle of the internet, how the internet came to be in the 1990s. The internet at the initial stages was something like a read-only concept. You just go to the internet, you read, you don't have the opportunity to give feedback or give comment on what you are reading. That's what it is referred to as the read-only. Then going forward, in the early 2000s, around 2004, Web2 came into being. Some people refer to the advent of Facebook and Twitter as the beginning of Web2. And in Web2, you have the opportunity to post content on the internet and get people to interact with it. That is the reason why it is called read and write paradigm. So tonight we are going to be learning what Web3 is, and we have speakers on ground that will shed more light on it. I'll be starting with Ajose Gideon, the CEO of CyberView. Mr. Ajose Gideon, what does Web3 means to you? Mr. Ajose.
Hello, good evening.
Since Mr. Joseph is not available, Mr. Aboyewa, please, are you available?
Good evening. Can you hear me? I was having some glitch. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ajose, I can hear you. Miss Gideon is not available. Ugochukwu, please, can we hear from you? What does Web3 means to you?
Hi, how you doing, guys? You just threw the question at me like that. Are we supposed to like some kind of introduction or something?
I already did that.
Oh, my bad. Please forgive me. I was driving, so I had to make it one spot before I could focus on the call. So, do I just start yapping?
Yeah, what does Web3 means to you? What do you understand by Web3?
I understand by Web3. So Web3 is basically the decentralized internet and how we create value from the internet of people. I call it myself the internet of people. Obviously, everyone knows how we moved from Web 2.0 to Web 3. So Web 2.0 is decentralized internet. That's the internet on cloud, the internet on AWS, the internet on satellite. So I don't know if I'm allowed to go into the tech of it, like to break it down like tech on the tech side of it.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
You can.
Okay, so before now, the internet was pretty much TCP/IP, a TCP/IP protocol transfer. What that means is that for every time you hit your phone, everything for every single action you take on your mobile device, it's like you're sending a message into space. into the satellites in space to record your activity on the internet, right? So over the years, the big corporations, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Twitter, obviously, they've taken advantage of this technology, and they've literally farmed our information, farmed our data, and used it to make so much money over the years. But that wasn't there for creating the internet. So we've now moved to the point where technology has now enabled us as participants and as users of the internet to be able to control the data and control what information that we give to corporations. So that's why I started with saying it is the decentralized internet. So what that means is that now we don't have to use TCP/IP systems anymore. So if you're on a decentralized app, no one can track. Obviously you can see user behavior, but we can only see what your wallet allows us to see. So every wallet has a public and a private side to it. What you can see on the public side is the information that the wallet allows you to see. So in general, Web3 is just the internet, but it's decentralized. And now what we're seeing is we're in the early stages where everyone is discovering how Web3 is encouraging user and creative participation. So it's more like you get paid or you get rewarded for participating and for using the internet. Up until this point, it wasn't always that way. It was the Twitters, it was the Facebooks, it was the Google who are making money off of our data and our analytics. But now you could just be in your house and all you have to do is just connect to a node. Either you connect to a node or you connect to someone's node of a node, and you are a part of the Web3. So even though it's still in the very, very early stages, in early phases, it's going to evolve to the point where companies are going to come to you to pay you to give them your information, to give them your data. That is why personally I put pressure. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen. Where's my partner who's here? Asher. So we're working on a product called SafeEye, and one of the things I want to launch with is a feature called signing with Ethereum. So the signing with Ethereum feature is probably the biggest and the most visible advantage of Web3 at the moment. Obviously, there's the whole NFTs, there's all the noise that's going on. All of that is just noise, but the most palpable tech from Web3 that we have now is the feature called signing in with Ethereum. So with the signing with Ethereum feature, you don't have to go on a website and use your email or use your password to join the website. Now all you just have to do is just log in with your wallet. So you go on the website, and you just connect to the website with your wallet, and then the owners of the website can only see the information that's on your public wallet, that's on the public side of your wallet. And the best part about it, as soon as you refresh the website, like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, it disconnects you. So it disconnects you, and you have to connect again. So that's the beauty of Web3, able to carry your data and your information and your internet participation for yourself. Right now I'm aware of a service that's even paying people to exchange. So they come to you, they look at your wallet data and all of that, your privacy, and they give you money. It's crazy. It's gonna evolve, but I think I'm talking too much. But yeah, it's just a very exciting innovation, the whole Web3 and decentralization. And it's only powered by one thing, the blockchain technology. So that is the answer to your question, Mr. Temitope Akintade.
Thank you very much, Ugochukwu. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Asha, please, do we have Asha here? Asha Aboyowa.
Asha should be right here.
I'm available now. Can I come on?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, like Ugochukwu said,
Yeah.
The current internet is where content creators can just do something online and start monetizing it. So I want to put it to you. What does Web3 mean to you personally? What do you understand by Web3?
Man, I think for me, Web3 means more power to me, man. Web3 means more control to me over my data, over how I interact with the internet. and I swear the benefit is just the benefit is so much, and the world has not seen anything yet. Let me give you guys an example. Right now, if you go on Google, yeah, and you want to do a search, maybe you want to search what Web3 is. Google will give you like a lot of options for you to look at, for you to check. And part of those options, from the point where you start getting to the second and the third and the fourth pages, you start seeing like very, very funny web pages come up, web pages that actually do not answer the questions that you actually ask Google. Now, Web3 solves all that. Using AI, Web3 will be able to make help search engines here give you the exact answers to the information you are actually searching for. You understand? So that is what Web3 means to me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
So
can hear
that is
you,
what
sir.
Web3 means to me, man. Freedom, yeah. Internet effectiveness, etc. So I think someone wanted to talk. So because of time, let's allow the other person speak.
All right, thank you, Aboyua. As we all know, there seems to be a romance between blockchain or decentralized networks and Web3. Do you agree with that?
Of course, yeah.
So
Blockchain is
I just want to on.
okay.
Please, can you shed more light on that? The romance between Web3 apps and blockchain. I just
So
said it.
I think Asher is like maybe on the phone is attending to something. Let me handle that for him.
All right.
I think before I went off, the last thing I said was that the
So
Web3
yeah, okay. The signal is just is a bit of a
it's
mess.
crazy, Abby.
Go on,
Alright.
yeah, go on. Fine.
All right, bro. So I was just gonna say that I think the last thing I said before is that Web3 is powered by blockchain. So without the invention of the blockchain, we won't be here talking about Web3. And the blockchain basically is, I tell everyone that blockchain is just a database. A blockchain, I think people get confused. People get like jittery on like what's blockchain? It's just a database. So imagine that you're an app. You can build an app. You can code a website, right? Right now, the apps we are building are being stored on, like I said, they're on clouds, AWS, Amazon Web Services, Azure, Microsoft. So like everything we do is just coming from the cloud. Blockchain came and said no. We don't want that anymore, because with that you can control what people do with their data. So with the blockchain, it's like you're mining information, you're mining data, you're doing mathematical calculations for data that is in form of blocks. Now, the how it relates to Web3 is that for you to connect to the blockchain, let's say for instance, let me use Ethereum. Ethereum is probably the most popular blockchain and the most what's the word? Profitable blockchain right now. So for you to connect to the Ethereum blockchain, obviously you need a wallet. But as for you to be a contributor to that blockchain, you need to have a node. So a node is like a code. Right now we call it IP. So everyone's computer has an IP, internet protocol. It's like an IP. It's like a 6-figure. Sorry,
Can you be less technical?
Less technical. I'm trying. Okay, so but I have to come from less technical to make you like to now bring it to. I want to bring it to like the grassroots level. So the blockchain is decentralized because you don't have to connect to a server anymore. So you could have a code in Pakistan. You could have your node in Jamaica. You could have your node in some what's the swamp in Lagos called? Is it Makoko? You could live in Makoko and you have a node anywhere you are in the world. As long as you have internet connection and you have a node, you become a part of that blockchain. So now I am a user. I want to connect to these nodes. All I have to do is get a wallet. I just need a wallet to connect to it. So that way, blockchain now powers Web3. That is why I mentioned NFTs are probably like the most popular side to Web3 that we can see now, because NFTs are pictures and JPEGs. I don't want to go deeper into that. But as we progress over time, we're going to see more of blockchain applications. This whole thing is just powered by blockchain. Currency, blockchain. Web3, blockchain, and it's going to seep.
Blockchain.
Yes, it's going to seep into governance. It's already happening with the banks already. It's happening with finance. We call it DeFi. So now you don't have to go to the bank to take loans anymore. You can mint your own tokens. You can do a lot of things without going to the banks right now. So it's going to spread into governance, into education, into politics, into everything that has to do with human beings. As long as you want to cut out the middleman, or you want more trust. You want more trust systems where you don't want human interference. The blockchain is the solution to it. So, I guess Web3 is that whole internet about no human interference. It's just people just connecting to a node. And I'm talking too much right now. But yes, I was answering for Asher.
All right. Thank you, Gochuku. I think Aboyo has something to say on that.
Okay, okay. Like I was talking about control. Yeah, when I said in Web3, you're like the owner of your content, and this content is stored in multiple computers across the globe. That is why my co-founder was mentioning Marco and the different places where you can actually have your own node, and then you get a wallet, and then you can plug in. So when this is done, yeah, it just ensures proper decentralization. Yeah. So here, digital identity is not linked to your real identity. You can download, you can store, you can upload, you can even interact as a user and do all the things you would not have been able to. You could have done on Web3, but without compromising your privacy. Web3 helps you to also stay anonymous, and that is all powered by the blockchain.
Thank you for that. Gideon, are you available now?
Yes, I'm available
Yes,
now. I am available.
I'm just having. Yeah. You can call me Ash. I'm just having like signal issues, so I'm a bit inconsistent. I'm so sorry, guys. My apologies.
All right, I just say Gideon. I would like to talk about how identity, copyright, and data ownership work in Web3.
Okay, first, can everybody?
Yes, we can hear you, Gideon.
Okay, first is that my own idea of Web3 as a whole concept, I would like to refer us to the post Elon Musk made while trolling Vitaly Buterin a few days back. It was talking about Web 1, Web 2, and finally Web 3. Whereas Vitalik was putting on some sort of clothes, sorry, excuse me, that looked like pajamas or like baby clothes. And I think it was built to speak at a conference. Practically drawing inference from that simple post, it just simply sends the message that Web3 is about freedom. Freedom, your own rights to be able to do what you wish with your properties, in this case, your data. Now, I would like to narrow my talk down to one emerging concept within the Web3 space, which is known as IPFS, Interplanetary File System. IPFS is a sort of a system protocol and a peer-to-peer network that is used for sharing and storing data that is in the distributed ledger, of course, on the blockchain. So this IPF, it uses content addressing to uniquely identify each file in a global names space. Now, this IPFS is what you have projects like Filecoin, that's file, a Filecoin, that's File, that we all know. I mean, we all trade File. I don't know the price currently. Then we have Storage, and I'm currently working with one of my founders on a project known as Store. A sort of decentralized cloud storage where you get to store your data. You are the full owner of your data. In fact, the project we are building known as Store, which is a sort of a decentralized cloud storage protocol, is just a gateway into the IPFS. If Store collapses today, if Filecoin collapses, if Storage collapses, your data is safe where you kept it. You only use probably Store, Filecoin, or Storage to safeguard it as a gateway, whereas you can retrieve your data with, your wallet at every point. I beg to differ because I can see that Ugochukwu is probably an Ethereum maxi. I prefer the Solana blockchain due to a lot of reasons, although we have our issues, but I believe we can be able to scale. So practically, the stuff about Web3 is about owning your data, being able to have autonomy on how you get to do it. Now, the concept of metaverse, the ideology of NFTs, and all these decentralized systems are all premised on Web3. Look at the conflict ongoing between Russia and Ukraine. The governing body that has that authority wants to ban Russia from using SWIFT. I think Iran was banned earlier, and some other countries have been banned. But in this case now, when we're talking about decentralization, we're talking about Web3. Nobody has the authority to just go on any of these platforms and announce a ban on other people. It's mostly usually free for all. So identity, which is one very important concept here, simply means that it is tied to your crypto wallet. No two people have the same MetaMask address, and if that error occurred, is just an anomaly and probably a one-off case. So no two people have the same wallet address. That's one. Secondly, I have a Solana name service (SNS). I got it using Bonfida, so you can even link your Twitter handle to it. That no single person will be able to register your name, just like getting a domain. I think for Ethereum they also have ENS. I don't know the efficacy of that anyway. But Solana name service is one that is a sort of promising uh, concept, and what Bonfire is bringing to the space. So the issue of identity is quite central to Web3. For example, I have my adjusted.so. No other person, it's just like having a domain. No other person can go on Web3 or can go on anywhere and go and register adjusted.so, simply because you are not able to. It's not even, in the traditional web you would have adjusted.com, adjusted.net, adjusted.fi, adjusted whatever. But in this case, in one ecosystem, is just one and one of it. So this also brought up the issue of copyright, and I'm going to make particular reference to the emerging issues that we're having in the NFT space. You get a lot of people who go and get artworks that have been done by seasoned artists, and they'll go and list them on OpenSea, SoulSea, or anywhere. But this is a part of the problems that a fully decentralized uh, system brings. Of course, it can be ameliorated due to some other innovations that comes on board. But the sum of what I'm saying is that for Web3, the idea is to commit your data to your own hands if you lose it, and also you get paid in most cases for even holding your data or for storing your data on some of these protocols. It's just all about you. The big techs have always been profiteering from data. I mean, there was this case with Cambridge Analytica selling data of users, I think from Facebook and Google, for election purposes. So these kind of things are not possible in the Web3, although it has its own issues. Or I think I'll take that as a pause here and allow the person to talk. Thank you.
Can I
All
add
right,
to
thank
that?
you very much.
Can I add to what he said, please, if you don't mind, bro? He's absolutely correct.
A minute, please. Please, going forward, I would like to speakers to try as much as possible to use lay terms. Let's assume we have only primary school people here. Let's just assume that we have primary school people here. Please, let's just speak like we are addressing primary school people.
Okay.
All right.
Make another verse, so we try small.
Okay.
But what I think what Gideon is trying to say is, so you asked a question about identity privacy. I think I was saying something before. I said every wallet you see has two sides to it. There's a public and there's a private side of the wallet. So, for instance, Gideon was talking about his .sol name. I also have one, but mine is .eth. Now, if you go on, there's some services that you can go on to, and you punch in my name, ugochukwu.eth, and you can see what's in my wallet. Now, that's the public side of my wallet. But there's also the private side of it, which is now controlled by something called the seed phrase. Now, this seed phrase is it's a combination of 12 words. And you cannot hack my wallet, no matter who you are. If you be the number one hacker in the world, you cannot get into my wallet until I give you these 12 words. So this is what makes Web3 and the whole idea of a wallet system so great. You can hack a website, you can hack my email, you can fish for my data and hack my email easily. OpenSea had issues 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. It was an email scam. It was some dude just cloned OpenSea's whatever and just emailed everyone who was on OpenSea, and people were clicking the link thinking it was OpenSea, right? So that just happened because it's an email. You cannot do that with a wallet except I give you my seed phrase. So that's on the side of privacy and identity protection. As it pertains to copywriting, the general idea about Web3 is for creators. So if you look closely, that's why NFTs are big, because it's supposed to be for artists. It's supposed to be about making artists get paid and get well paid for their art. But obviously, because it is decentralized, because there's no SEC, there's no policing, there's no government, so it's like a wild west, and that's what happens when you're in the early days. So for now, it's like the tech is being used in the wrong way. But obviously, as we progress and as we go forward, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be more and more it's more going to be more formalized. A very good example is what do I use now? I'm sure everyone knows about this paper, this comrade JPEGs that we all use. Yeah. And
use it comrade in Nigeria.
Exactly. Like I don't know if you've ever stopped one day to ask yourself who actually came up with this? Who actually started this thing? Who started this trend? Who was the first person that actually started this thing? So that's what Web3 is supposed to do, right? So I assume that we can find, okay, it's Temitope who created it. He's the founder. He was the first guy that did it. And Temitope takes that JPEG, converts it to a code, puts some codes behind it, and like Gideon said, put it on IPFS. I don't want to go into IPFS because that's very technical. But basically, you put it on blockchain, because anything you put on blockchain lives forever on the blockchain. It lives. So it's like it's verified, it's immutable. You can change it. You cannot write into it. You cannot edit it. So as long as you've minted it on the blockchain, as long as you've clicked send, that action of clicking send is called minting. As long as you've hit send and it's gone on the blockchain, you can't delete it. You cannot edit it. And very soon, everyone, if you get an app, a blockchain app, you can upgrade it. So what they do is that they have to write a new one. So you write a new code and obviously now optimize it and call it a V2. So what you had before is a V1. This one now becomes a V2. So the blockchain is like I said, trustless. You want a trustless system. You want a very 100% verified data and immutability. It can change. So yes, that's in addition to what Mr. Gideon was trying to tell us.
Thank you very much, Ugo Chukwu. So going forward, Metaverse is another concept that goes hand in hand with Web3. Just last week, Man City announced its plans, like they partnered with Sony to build a virtual stadium in the Metaverse. And I think earlier this week too, Football Club Barcelona announced their plans to build NFTs and also go into Metaverse. So I would like you guys to shed more light on the relationship between Web3 and the world of Metaverse, known as virtual reality.
Do I talk?
Asha,
Someone take it up?
Asha.
Okay.
Is Asha here?
Mr. Asha, please, can you take up the stage? Let's talk and move on to something else.
I don't think Asha is here. All right,
okay. All right, fine. So, what's a metaverse? First of all, I think I want to say that there is no one metaverse, because I think people have come to think that the metaverse is one place. No, if there's like 50 of us on this call, all 50 of us can go do a metaverse. Now, if you look closely at, if you're someone who buys NFTs or you understand how the NFTs work, if you look closely at NFT projects, you will see that 99% of them are trying to tell you a story. So you see NFTs that have characters, different entities. It's because they are trying to create a system, a world, an ecosystem where different entities can live and can interact with themselves. Now, right now, we're experiencing this on Web2 platforms. That's why it looks funny. We're experiencing it on Twitter. We're experiencing it on Discord. So it still looks a bit sketchy. It looks like, what's happening? So a metaverse is like a social community where people are going to engage. Right now, we are still in the process of fully going onto that level of living. I tell my friends that cryptocurrency is not made for crypto. Is not made for Earth, the Earth we live on right now. That's why people don't understand it, because crypto is not really made. Crypto is for the metaverse. So when we get to the point where we've adapted to 3D avatars, we've adapted to a point where if you want to buy something, you don't have to buy it with Naira, you don't have to buy it with dollar. You only buy with either you buy with Bitcoin, or you buy with Ethereum, or you buy with Solana. Then you now say you are not existing in the metaverse. Personally, myself, I don't use Naira anymore. I don't even use the dollar. Everything I do now is Ethereum. Like, it's crazy. I was just thinking to myself the other day, if I want to check the price of anything, I have to first find out the price in ETH. So it's gonna get to the point where to have a full 100% experience of a metaverse, you're going to use a machine. I'm guessing some people know about VR machines, the virtual reality machines, like the Oculus, the ones that you put over your head, and then it's like you're in a different reality altogether. You were very correct about and what was it? Design. I saw that article the other day. But I think what's even a better example of that, what you mentioned, was the Australian Masters. So in January, I've forgotten what the organizers of that open. They did an agreement with what's the name again? Decentraland. So Decentraland is top 2 biggest metaverse providers in the Web3 ecosystem. So Decentraland is like a gaming environment. You go on there, you get a character, which obviously is an avatar. So it's like, this is me, this is you, right? Now, let's say you buy NFTs. Maybe let's say you buy NFTs. Maybe you bought shoe NFTs, or you bought shirt NFTs, or you even chain NFTs. I know some people have a project that the guy, all he just does, he mints chains, like big ass chains. And these chains are it's for characters in the metaverse. So you can clothe your avatar with your NFTs. How do you buy these NFTs? You buy NFTs with crypto. And you now use these NFTs to clothe your avatar in the metaverse. So let's say I want to watch the Australian Open. I go on Decentraland, I log in. You can see so many people. Guys, this thing has moved so far. People are even partying. People are going to club. People are even going on dates in the metaverse. So it's just about which one you want to side with. So as of right now, I think there's Decentraland, there's Sandbox, there's what's this one again? Picture Voxels or something. There's a lot of them, and they're springing up. Sandbox is like Decentraland. You can go on Sandbox. You can buy plots of land. You can buy a hotel. I met some dude the other day on Discord, and I asked him, dude, what do you do? And he's laughing, and he says he's a metaverse real estate agent. So you buy land in the metaverse, and he helps you. He's gonna help you build on it. And this is all code. This is all code. So people are buying land and selling land now in the metaverse. So it's about you developing your own ecosystem, you developing your own story to the point where people not engage. Now that how people engage with it is now the exciting part of it. So very soon, all the NFTs you're seeing that are not in 3D, that are still in 2D, they're going to evolve to 3D. From 3D, they're going to evolve to the point where you cannot experience them just by looking at your phone. If you're looking at your phone, it's like you're missing something. So you have to go get an Oculus and put it on your head and now go into the metaverse to actually live like your avatar. So that whole 3D graphical representation of human engagement is what we call the metaverse. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Udochukwu. There's going to be a question and answer session, but in the meantime, you can also tweet your questions to us using the hashtag TechNextXWeb3. You can tweet your questions to us using the hashtag TechNextXWeb3. So going forward, I think Web3 is always regarded as a fertile land for businesses and content creators. So I would like the speakers to explain how businesses and content creators can utilize that feature, how they can actually make real money. It's not fake money, like real money from Web3. So I would like Asha, or is Asha here?
That my guy, Seth. Where is he going to? I
think
Asha's quite like preoccupied today.
Gideon, are you here?
Hey, they've left me to be talking on this thing.
Yes.
Oh.
Did you get that?
Yes, I got the question. How can you make real money?
Yes, real money from Web3. Content creators and businesses.
Okay, first is that there are always opportunities in every space. It's just beckons on individuals, corporate bodies, organizations, and persons to look carefully at how they best fit in using their own passion, profession, expertise, or what they feel they can contribute to the space. For me, one of the ways I've been making money in the whole Web3 saga is first I hate anything that has any semblance to bling. So I don't flip NFTs. I'm holding just only 2 NFTs, and the 2 of them. Okay, one of it I can stake it, so I get paid every day for just staking my NFT. I mean, reasonably within a month I should get more than the amount I use to get the NFT in the first place. So I know my niche. All I want to do in the Web3 space is I want to manage communities. I want to build projects. I'm currently on a project. I'm building a project, Metaverse Police, that is based on a narrative of trying to fish out scams in the Web3 space and have it reported, because of course you cannot remove it. So the only thing you can do is to sensitize the community about these scams and these fraudulent practices. So, but for somebody that loves to flip NFTs, first is I think you can make money in So excuse me. I think you can make money in the Web3 space by one, going with the trend. Even in trading, in NFT, in Web3, the trend is always your friend. But you must know when to get in and get out so you don't get burned. Now we are having a sort of mania like we had for those shit coins on Binance Smart Chain around the same time last year, where everything was pumping. So you see people now, you just go online, any NFT, whitelist, you buy. A lot of people are making a whole lot of money from it, and I don't have anything against them. So I think, but that's also one of the ways to make money in Web3 to flip NFTs. That's one. Then a more sustainable way is an example of what Ugochukwu just said just now about somebody being a real estate agent for lands. The central land, I think their token is Mana. So the central land is one of the biggest, if not the best, or the biggest in the space. So you can buy land, then you can do play to earn. This one is quite instructive because some of the time it does not require a startup capital. One of the very, very good pointer that would lead to adoption in Web3 for the traditional people, traditional markets, the traditional sector is play to earn. This simply means that instead of you to go and be playing Candy Crush where you get $1 million, I mean that is not withdrawable, you can play a lot of games. Play to earn is scattered all over everywhere. You can, I think the biggest is Axe Infinity. Then you have Vulcan Forge. Then there is this decentralized autonomous organization, DAO. That means plenty of people coming together to form a sort of guild or a sort of company that talks about these things. Then Merit Cycle. Yeah, Merit Cycle is a decentralized autonomous organization. That means you have individual games coming together and coming under one umbrella. Say, okay, this is what we have to offer the community. So one simple way that you can make money in the Web3 space is by joining guilds. There are a lot of them. You can just search online. You some of them. Let's assume you don't want to join a guild, that you have money. Let's say, so, what if you want to play maybe Vulcan Forge? There are some of the NFTs you need to buy, so you'll be able to use to put in for application to play. Then there are a lot of people. There are a lot of guilds in Africa, in Nigeria, around the world that are only responsible for admitting people into guild and training them how to play the game. So as you are playing, you are breeding whatever NFT you are using. You are getting more money, getting more experience, getting more exposure. You are having fun, and you are having money also in your space. So I think I'll just stop at that for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gideon. Ugochukwu, do you want to add to that?
He hit the nail on the head. The only thing I'm gonna add to it is, to be honest, Web3 is just about contribution. It's about contributing and participating. So let me give you a good example. My name is, I'm still going to go back to my name, ugochukwu.eth. So .eth is an Ethereum name service. And there's a protocol that was founded by some guys in 2016 or 2017. But obviously, I didn't know about .eth name until last year. So check this out. I just noticed that people were adding .eth to their names. And I'm like, okay, I should probably try this. I mean, it looks cool. I don't know what it's for. I mean, obviously, I've done my research. It's supposed to be like a name for your wallet. So instead of sending me all those jumbled letters for your Ethereum wallet, you just send me a gochugu.eth and I send you Ethereum, right? So I did it. I bought it. I paid $240 for 3 years because it's a domain name, and I did it because I wasn't trying to get profit. I wasn't trying to make any money from it. I just did it because, well, Vitalik has one. Everyone is doing it. I can see here and there. It looks cool, right? And I just minded my business. And then fast forward till sometime in October, these guys now come up, the owners of the protocol, now come up and they said that they were going to airdrop the ENS tokens to everyone who had bought a .eth name by a certain period. And like play, these guys sent me tokens, and token was big money. I'm like, really? You mean you guys gonna send me these thousands of dollars just for buying a domain name? And I think that's where I started seeing what's happening with Web3. I can't even start telling you how many airdrops that I have gotten just by contributing or by being the part of a community. So what Gideon is saying is that you just participate. I think I was telling someone today again that you can talk so much, you can have so much head knowledge, you can have so much theoretical ideas of what Web3, of what the decentralized internet is, but until you go in and you actually use it, and I'm sorry, using it will obviously entail that you might have to spend money at some point. Yes, but you have to use it and you have to participate to actually now make money from it. And then what he was saying about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, called DAOs, is superb because everyone might not have money to buy an NFT. Everyone might not have money to buy a .eth name. But with a DAO, if you have skills that you can translate to Web3, with a DAO you can get paid. Right now, people are getting paid for not doing too much, just by coming to a DAO meeting, just by being a part of a DAO, coming to their weekly meetings, just by getting engaged in their Discord, getting involved with the community calls and all that stuff. They find ways to reward you, and at the end of the month, you can convert all that rewards into either you convert into a stable coin or you convert it into Ethereum. So it's all about one, early participation. Early, you have to go in early when other people are doing it, and just go with the crowd, go with the flow. Obviously, while you do your own research. So Didon was right on the money when he said that. For companies, I know your question was in two phases. You said for individuals and for companies. For companies, it's just about seeing what people, looking at the loopholes. Because someone asked me the other day, what exactly is blockchain going to do for us? And that was a very good question, because if you don't, it's easy to get carried away with all the hype. But you actually have to sit down and take into cognizance of what exactly is changing, what's blockchain bringing to us. And it boils down to one word: scalability. So let me use the banking system, for example. Bitcoin is probably the most popular cryptocurrency built on blockchain. Now, the actual Bitcoin technology is funny transfer, like being able to send money anywhere in the world in a matter of minutes for as little transfer costs as possible. Now, it's even still like, as much as fantastic as it is not yet in the most diluted phase. We're going to the point where you can send money to someone like you're sending me pictures on WhatsApp. You see how you send someone pictures on WhatsApp, and in a matter of 1 second it has delivered. That's how money is going to be very soon. Whether you're sending $1 million or whether you're sending $2 million, Bitcoin is going to do that. Obviously through what we call Lightning Network. I don't want to go into all of that. But where was I going with this? Oh my god! But the scalability. So with Bitcoin, now you're sending money very fast. You can do, I don't know, I'm not sure what the exact figure is. Maybe you can do 1 million transactions per second. I think on Ethereum is about 10K or 50K? I don't know. But you can do so many transactions on the blockchain network so fast and with little fees compared to what you would do on a normal day-to-day system. So that is one of the advantages, of one of the things that one of the real-life applications of blockchain, scalability. So as a company or as an entrepreneur who was looking for a way to come into the system, so you're looking out for places where there's loopholes. There's loopholes like obviously slow transactions. There's loopholes like there's middlemen. There's middlemen who are chopping money from where the money is supposed to go to. A very good example would be music, because I'm a music executive, so I've been I've experienced the industry as from the creator's perspective and from a digital streaming platform perspective. You say you're an artist and you've made 1,000 naira on your track from streaming. I tell you what, at the end of the day, when Apple Music takes their own, when the publishing takes their own, what might come to you is 50 naira. But with the blockchain system and with NFTs, let's say you wake up one morning and say, you know what, Apple, go screw yourself. Spotify, go screw yourself. I'm going to record this music and I'm going to put it on the blockchain as an NFT and I'm going to sell it to my fans. And you made 500 copies, or even if you mint 100 copies, the money you make from it, you can never make that kind of money on Spotify as an independent artist, because the money comes to you directly. There's nobody coming between you and the money. So this is one of the things that blockchain does. So as an entrepreneur, you're looking for those loopholes, like things like that. Okay, how do I plug in? How do I make money from this? And that is how, whether you're an individual, a company, you can tap from the fantastic innovation that's called Web3. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for that, Ugochukwu. Before going to the last question, there's going to be a question and answer session very soon. But before that, you can ask your questions by tagging us and using the hashtag Technext Web3. Hello, can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, bro. I don't know about them, but I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
All right, there's going to be a question and answer session, but before that, you can ask us your question by tagging us and also using the hashtag TechnextXWeb3. So before asking the last question, I think last December, the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, came out and said Web3 is just you use something like Web3 that you don't own Web3, that people have been lied to all along, that people have been wasting their time and all. And there are some people in the current internet space. There are two types of people that believe in Web3, the proponents, people that believe in it like religion. Then there are other people too that believe that it's just a fad, like it's just a sham, it's nonsense. There's nothing called Web3, it's nebulous. So I'd like to put it to our speakers: is Web3 truly the future of the internet, or is just a fad? So I would like Ajose to start.
Okay, first is that I don't expect Jack Dorsey to say anything short of what he has said, because I mean, by that time he was even the CEO of Twitter, and Twitter is a very, very integral part of Web 2. For example, now you have Donald Trump still stands banned on most social media platforms, probably due to his posts. But you know, the judge, the executioner, the legislator, the maker of the rule is all Twitter. I know they're the one that said their community standards. That kind of concept is very difficult to have in the Web3, because you will not be able to censor anybody not to post, not to go about their daily activities however they wish. Of course, this has its own negative consequences, but it is what it is. It transfers power away from any other person to that person. It transfers powers away from everybody. You can see even during this Ukraine, the Canada protests, where there's this Hong Kong protest. So the government wrote to a wallet company that they should freeze the assets of their customers, and those ones responded that the wallet, the address, the money therein is not in the hands of the company. It's all in the hands of the customer. So the only people that can freeze the balance is the end user. The same way about your recovery phrase. So I don't expect Jack Dorsey to come with anything better than that. It's just like asking Mark Zuckerberg what he thinks about censorship. They are an integral part of Web 2. And the truth of the matter is that one thing is constant: change. Elon Musk was talking about development of these bots that track artificial intelligence. Not that you would have just designed the bot. The bot will be able to learn. And some of the time, the bot might become smarter than you. He said, of course, he doesn't want it, but that's where the world is going. Some of us don't want Web3 for a lot of reasons also. Aside from the fact that it gives us money, we don't want it because of some of the freedoms it affords individuals. But it is not my power. It is not in anybody's power. Web3 is here to stay. Web3 is not going anywhere. And people are beginning to love and appreciate privacy more and more. So I think this is just the beginning. And I think that whatever Jack Dorsey said that time was a fad, and it was ill-conceived. I don't think it's going to hold any water in the near future. Thank you.
Wow. All right, thank you for that. Ugochukwu, you have something to say about that?
Mr. Gideon is absolutely correct. I think Jack's issue was so a lot of people don't know that Ethereum was IPO'd, or maybe ICO'd, initial coin offering. Maybe I might have to go into a bit of stocks and investing in that. So like when Vitalik and his friends were going to start Ethereum, when they found the whole Ethereum tech and the software, the technology of it, they did a coin offering. So basically they gave tokens, they shared Ethereum tokens to their early investors. And the truth is, by the fundamentals of Web3 and decentralized internet, you're not supposed to do that. So I give an example of the .eth name that I bought and how they airdropped us tokens. Now, those guys never IPO'd. They didn't go to declare on the stock exchange. They didn't go to publicly trade their token. So what they did was everyone who got the airdrop now stood in as an early investor. So you can imagine me now telling you about ENS, telling you about .eth names, and telling you how to give me money because I was so impressed. So like everyone who got those tokens were taken as investors. Now Jack knew that Vitalik and his friends took money and they shared the tokens to their friends. So it was called an unfair launch. So that's one thing that Jack was holding against Web3 and Ethereum. But the fact is, Ethereum is not only the Web3. It's not only the Web3 blockchain. Solana also is a Web3 blockchain. Mr. Gideon's house. Even though Solana itself also has some VCs in it as well in the early stages. But whatever Jack says is pointless because Jack himself is the godfather of Web2. It's like that Spider-Man meme pointing at himself like this. So, but Web3 is not going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. A very good example was what happened in Canada, like Mr. Gideon said. Even all of us, we're Nigerians. We saw what happened with NSARS. Like when I was reading the Canadian story, I'm like, this is exactly what happened with NSARS. Like the government tried to rise up to use their centralized means to stop the movement from happening. But the people said, no way, we're going to find a way to move our thing ourselves. So cryptocurrency, Web3, blockchain innovation is here to stay. Right now, Bitcoin is pumping. It's pumping. And it's pumping because people are sending Bitcoin to Ukraine. They're sending polka dots to Ukraine. Now, I think the Ukrainian government wants to do an airdrop. If you donated to their cause, I guess either some tokens or some NFT or whatever they're going to airdrop, and everyone's hype about it. So you can see that it's like people just using people for the right reasons, not being controlled. So in NFT communities, we all say we're all going to make it. WAGMI. Most people have seen WAGMI. We're all going to make it. We're all going to make it. We're all going to make it. The reason why people say we're all going to make it is, to some people, it's a slang, but it's not just a slang. The reason is because coming from where we're coming from right now, everything is centralized. Capitalism. You can wake up in the morning. Let's say me. I'm just an ordinary guy. I can't walk into the bank and ask the bank to give me a $5 million naira loan. What's $5 million naira in dollars? Probably like what, $5K, $6, or maybe like $7K or something. I can go to Binance now and take that loan in 5 minutes with my crypto assets. 2 minutes, and they give it to me with what? Maybe a 2% or 3% interest rate, and I go and enjoy my life. You cannot do that with the bank, but you can only do that if you have billions and billions and billions in the bank, and everything is controlled. So the idea of Web3 is for the people, by the people, only for the people. So if you come in there, you're trying to form like I'm the kingmaker or I'm the gateway, bro. Web3 is not for you, man. So like, it's gonna be here forever, basically.
All right, thank you for that. Speakers believe Web3 is the future.
It's right now, bro. It's not the future. It is right now. It's happening already. Like, it's right now. Personally, I contribute to DAOs. I love DAOs, and they call DAOs the future of work. It's happening. Like, you can stay in your house and you're working for multinational companies all over the world. Like one of the DAOs where I'm in, it's like how many people? A couple of people. One person is in Germany, one is in the US, one is in France, and we don't even see physically. All we just do is that we have a goal and we just meet on Discord to achieve that goal, and you get paid with dollars at the end of the month. So right now, it's happening, bro.
All right, amazing. I think one of the things the Web3 critics say about Web3 is that is a nebulous concept. Like, does not have any distinct, or let me say, clear-cut definition. What do you have to say about this?
I don't think so. That's not true. You can't say it's not clear-cut because the internet that we use, what's the internet? The internet is connecting people together. But some guys came up and found a way to throw money into it and monetize our data. Google, Facebook, Amazon. Now you can't do that anymore. So the internet is now actually living in its true form. This is what the internet was made for. You and me connect, and we use our power as connected to create value for ourselves. So anyone who tells you that the Web3 has no definition is either the person is a Bitcoin maxi, or the person is a shady person who's into a lot of shady stuff that they are scared that Web3 is going to expose them for. So I don't believe that. When I started, I said Web3 is the decentralized internet. Anyone who asks me Web3, just tell them that's what it is. Whether you go up or you go down, it's decentralized. It's the internet, but it's decentralized. There's no satellite in space that's taking your data and taking your information. Right now, everything you've done on the internet from the day you started using the internet is recorded somewhere, whether you like it or not. There's a copy of it in somebody's server. It's just sitting down there. The moment you hit send on your phone, the moment you hit that green button, it's stored, right? Obviously, you can also have that with Web3, but like, it's just what I'm showing you. There's more that I can do on the private end of my wallet that you cannot see, except I give you my seed phrase. So like I said, anyone who tells you that Web3 doesn't have a definition, my brother, that person is just a Bitcoin. It's like a Bitcoin maxi, because Bitcoin is a bit different from the Bitcoin blockchain is a bit different from the Ethereum and the Solana blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain is not computational. There's some things you can't do with it. That's why it's kind of like limited, because Bitcoin is is just for storage of value, storage of data. So you cannot build decentralized apps like that on Bitcoin. Let me not do too much.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Because of our time, we'll be entertaining questions from the audience now. If you have any questions for any of our speakers, it's just request.
Oh yeah, let us ask questions.
Questions or contributions, right? Questions or contributions.
Can I contribute?
Hello, can I contribute?
Hi, Marvin. Please go on. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my name is Marvin, and I'm from Kenya. I'm not like actively into opposing metaverse and Web3 and stuff, but there's some fundamental facts that most of the speaker kind of didn't mention or missed. So if I ask one of the speaker, what is Web3? Just explain it in like 6-8 sentences. What is Web3?
I'm sorry, sir. Did you join the call?
No, I was here from the start. Just elaborate like what is Web3. I just want to get your definition in few sentences as possible. Then I counter that explanation of what is Web3.
Bro, man.
About to start all over again. Gochu, can you do that?
Bro, only one condition, man. This guy owes me like a bottle or something. Bro, I've been talking for what, 1 hour? Okay, in the spirit of fairness, I just say Web3 is the internet, but it's decentralized. So right now, if you want to connect to the internet, you buy data from your web provider, from your internet provider. You go on Facebook, you come on Twitter, and you connect. But the moment you tweet something, the moment you type a tweet and you hit send, you hit tweet, there's a copy of that what you've just done that's stored on Twitter's server. You don't know about it. Twitter won't tell you that, but I'm telling you that because of the TCP IP protocol. With Web3, you cannot have that.
Exactly.
So when we have
that's enough. So that is what I was looking for. So you've mentioned categorically that Web3 give you the leverage where everybody share the data. Then there's no central place. So I'll give you a good example of Web3 applications that are openly available, like OpenSea, which is being controlled by an entity. Okay. So I don't know if you're a software.
Sorry, sir. I'm going to cut you short. OpenSea is not a Web3. It's not a Web3.
Give me one example of Web3 application that is currently.
So a very good example of a Web3 application is MetaMask. So you cannot go to for you to use a Web3 application, it has to be decentralized. OpenSea is not decentralized. It has to be fully decentralized from the tech, the back end, to the front end, to even down to how the company is.
Are you a software engineer? Are you a software engineer?
I'm a blockchain developer.
No. Sorry, please excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another reason why Open cannot be a Web3 application is simply because OpenSea said that some of its employees were front-running those that were listing NFTs on it. They could control who lists what and who gets to see what. That is one feature that falls short of anything that we want to call about the Web3 application. Thanks.
Good. So at the end of the day, this data are stored in certain. So you said MetaMask, for example. I've used MetaMask to purchase NFT profile from OpenSea. Okay. At the end of the
your data is not stored on MetaMask. Your data is stored on the blockchain.
Can we maintain the program, please? All right, continue.
Okay. So
no, he was asking a question.
So at the end of the day, there has to be an entity where it's not like you're going to have a username, because if you're going to build an application, if you're going to build, let's say, a new social media that is based on kind of I think there's one already that is based on Web3. To manage this data, they will have data centers where this data will be managed. It's not like you're going to have your own data in a certain blockchain. Maybe you might only have your, let's say for instance, username is based on blocks, okay? But the rest of the data will not be included in the blockchain, okay? So that is the problem that I have. We keep on saying we are moving to Web3, but at the end of the day, the data is going to be controlled by an entity. It has to sit somewhere. That's the first thing. The second thing that I've had in this space, which I don't agree with, is we don't talk about the benefit and the that is going to kind of benefit everybody, not in terms of finance only. So we're just talking that this is going to make you this. You need to join early and know when to leave. So if you've read about 0 to 1 or the .com bubble, it's mirror something of that sort. Okay, so there's applications that are going to use the blockchain and smart contract technology, but at the end of the day, entities are still going to be controlled, because for you to get your finances, for you to withdraw your money, you have to go to like Coinbase or Binance to transfer that money to your cards and wallets, which you can withdraw and use to pay stuff.
Bro, you just said Coinbase, man. I'm sorry, Mr. Marvin, but you've got the wrong picture.
No, I'm saying
you keep mentioning the wrong.
No,
people.
I say
Coinbase
for you to get your money, you have to use application like Coinbase or Binance to get that money, which is an entity.
It's changing.
Okay, it is an entity.
Let me tell you what. I'll tell you what. Coinbase and Binance are centralized exchanges. Do you know about decentralized exchanges?
Yes.
Do you know of Uniswap? Now, let me tell you something. We have on a call. I have my team. We have a product. We call it SafeFi. Right? Now, we're working on a use case where people are going to be able to buy tokens. People are going to be able to buy Web3 tokens straight from the bank account without having to go through a decentralized exchange.
Good example. Now let me ask you a question. If I want to get my money back, how am I going to get my money back into my bank account if I want to use it in a currency?
Web3 has no business with your bank account, bro. That's why I'm telling you that right now it's still in the early phases. So we're going through a whole lot of chopping up. When we get to where we're going to get to, Binance is going to be irrelevant in the scheme of things. Bro, this is the fact. If you go on Uniswap, I'm telling you, you go on Uniswap, you convert your Ethereum to the tokens. I just said that we're working on a use case where you can take money from your bank and buy tokens.
Last question, then I think I'll just leave for the speakers. Last question, please. So you've mentioned that Web3 has nothing to do with the bank, and ideally, and we've talked about buying lands in the metaverse and also all those kind of stuff. Last question is, when now I want to use my money in the real world, now I want to use my money. I have a bunch of cash in whatever account that or whatever wallet that I own. Okay, and I want to transfer it to go. Let me go buy a car, buy bread and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I'll have to transfer it to a bank or whichever wallet that will allow me to purchase. Now, can you bring that concept from the Web3 into me using my money on a physical transaction? Because that is the life. That is the life at the end of the day. If you're going to build a house, you need to buy hardware and you need to pay for that. And you have a lot of cash in Web3 wallets. Now, just bring that concept. Because when you bring that concept, at the end of the day, you will hit the centralized entities. Okay?
So I'm not sure I understood your question perfectly, but I'm going to tell you just one thing. So while I was busy rambling some hours ago, I mentioned something. I said, right now we are evolving from a Web 2 to a Web 3, an entirely Web 3 system. So that middle phase where we're trying to get on is the problem. There's going to be like a lot of, it's like square pegs in a round hole, right? I don't know what your question is, bro, but what I'm going to say is that I said cryptocurrency is not for the existence that you know now. So cryptocurrency is actually made for a metaverse application. So when you get into a metaverse, that's where everything Web3 starts making sense. It doesn't make sense now to you because everything to you now you're seeing is a 2D, one-dimensional site. When we get to the point where everything is strictly on blockchain, you breathe blockchain, you eat blockchain, you sleep blockchain. In the metaverse, your dollar has... Bro, that's the fact, man.
Just last statement.
Thank you very much. You can always
please. Last statement. Please, I understand the rally behind Web3, but what I'll leave you at the end of the day, as long as government control entities, your transaction and your transaction and most items that you use on your daily life will be based on a certain entity. Even the Web3 application, they will still have database where somebody need to check and host them on multiple servers.
He mentioned,
okay.
Mr. Gideon mentioned IPFS. The only IPFS is the only, my brother, that's the only data intermediary that we're going to use for the blockchain. Bro, you don't need any data. The blockchain is a database. That's why I started with, Mr. Marvin. And the blockchain itself is a database. Every data you put on the blockchain is there forever. You cannot change it. You cannot delete it. My government arrested Hush Puppy for fraud. No, not my government. The government of the United States arrested Hush Puppy for fraud of millions and millions and millions of dollars. The nigga still has the money in his wallet on the blockchain. He can't take it because no one has a seed phrase. It's as simple as 1, 2. I don't see how it can be confusing to you, bro. I want you to come to our side because I can see you're not really on our side yet, Mr. Marvin. But I just pray that God will reveal it to you small as you progress and open your eyes to see the light.
Very good. Mr. Marvel, we don't have luxury of time. We still have questions to attend to. It's going forward. We won't be entertaining more than one question from everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Can I do small? I think maybe we can do small like commercial break.
Let's move on to the next question.
All right, cool. Nice one.
Any other question?
Juju Boy has his hands up. Juju Boy's hands are up. Can you tell him up?
All right, Juju. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Juju Boy.
All right. Thanks you all for bringing me up here and letting me speak. So I don't necessarily have a question. I want to correct some impressions. I believe we are all learning in this space. So I would like to. I like the fact that we are all calling each other out wherever we make a mistake. So I'll start from. I think I joined this space from the beginning. So I want to try to correct each of the speakers on where I think they are wrong, and I really hope that I am wrong in the corrections that I'm making, just for the peace of this space. So first of all, the first thing is the idea of Web3. For me, I believe Web3 as a term is so far so good, just an idea. Web3 has not yet been actualized. It is a possibility. So as far as we are concerned, we are still relying heavily on Web2. We have not entered Web3 yet. We might have pseudo Web3, we might have a resemblance of what Web3 might look like, but we do not have Web3 as it is not tangible yet. We do not have Web3 yet. And why I say this is because you cannot, if the doors to a room is permissioned and the room itself is permissionless, then it means the room is permissioned because you can't get into the room if you have to beg somebody to unlock the door for you. So if your data on the blockchain is safe from whoever overlords, whoever wants to steal your data, and you still have to use internet service providers to access the internet, then it means that your access is already restricted in the first place. So no matter how you try to put it, MTN, Glo, Visafone, whatever ISP you are using, they have your history. The moment you turn on your data, they have your IP, and this is what basically makes using what we call Web3 now a possibility. So right now we might feel like we are cutting corners, but we are still relying heavily on centralized bodies. We are relying heavily on internet service providers, which are largely centralized at the moment. So Web3 for me is still an idea. We cannot actually go out and say that, oh, Web3 has come and it has solved the problem. I'm not even attained to Web3 yet. It's a dream that we have, and hopefully with Dels and everyone contributing to the space, we are going to have Web3 come to reality. So moving away from that, I thought I heard you say when you were explaining the term the metaverse. I agree with you when you say that there is no one metaverse, but I want to correct you on something. From the name metaverse literally means meta for non-tangible, for non-physical, virtual, and universe and verse is taken from universe. So essentially, what metaverse means is an intangible universe, a virtual universe, and a world of experience. So what people are building, you are right when you say that no one company can build a metaverse. True. What companies are building are worlds, experiences, virtual platforms. So essentially what the central land has is the central world. So when you get into the central land, you just buy a space, you buy a land, and you interact with the central land as an ecosystem. But so treat the central land as planet Earth, and treat what's it called? And treat spatial as planet Mars. So these are individual worlds that are just existing in one in the Milky Way galaxy. So there are a whole lot of other galaxies that will spring up. There are a whole lot of other protocols that will spin up their own worlds, spin up their own ecosystems which exists in the metaverse. So one person cannot come out and say he's building a metaverse. It is impossible. One person, the only person that can do that we know of is God, who created the universe, right? But we can decide to go and colonize Mars, like Elon Musk is planning. Or you get the point now. So essentially, when we are talking about,
thank you very much, Juju. Thank you very much. So we are entertaining questions from two persons. Please, one question per person. Then it's going to be a contribution, just 2 sentences or 3 sentences. All right, please. The next question. The Godfather, you have a question. Godfather. I don't think he's here. Then who else? Are you here? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Thomas, loud and clear.
I think Godfather has a question. I don't know. He's not responding.
Okay, so maybe move to the next one then, because time is of the essence.
Do you still have any other question? All right. In the absence of question, we'll be rounding up now. Thank you very much for joining us.
I just want to say, it's actually it's good to hear everyone talk. It's actually good to interact and hear other people's opinions about Web3 and crypto and all of that stuff. All I'm just going to say in conclusion is, everyone is free to believe what you want to believe. I just believe that right now, I think we're very, very, very early stages of Web3 and the whole blockchain innovation. We're talking about tech that's going to turn the world upside down. Like in the next 10 years, that's when we actually see these things happening. It was like we're in 1989 and the internet, and you're telling people about the internet that came to life in 1994, 1992 or something, right? So from everyone in Web3, we say, do your own research. Everyone do your own research. But like one thing I know for certain, we're here to stay. And then in addition, I'm just going to say that if there's anyone who wants to learn more and know more, we are building a product called SafeEye. We are trying to help people save in cryptocurrency and get exposure to the whole crypto and blockchain and community ecosystem with our product called SafeEye. And we're going into beta launch next week in 2 weeks. So we have if you click on the link on my bio, you can put in your email address and we add it to our wait list. When we go on launching, sorry, what am I saying? When we go on our ETA, we have so many raffles and giveaways and things that we want to do for our community. And this was a very good experience, you guys. I was happy to be on this space today. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. So we're rounding up now. You can follow Technext on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Thank you, Technext. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hope you learned something tonight.
I did. Good night.
Can we reach out to you guys after this space, like send DMs and stuff like that? Because I would really love to do that.
You can always do that. Then if there's someone that you think you still have gooses with, or you still have some scores to say to, you can always DM the person too. All right, good night.
Thank you, guys. All right, good night. So much has been learned from here tonight. Great.
I don't know when or love, where my home. Caraibo, down so way, long way. Umama,